Armenia's attacks on Azerbaijan have been taking place for more than 30 years. They continue, even today, against Azerbaijan's armed forces and its people, despite the ceasefire agreed between representatives from Azerbaijan, Russia, and Armenia. Armenia did not comply with the temporary ceasefire, which clearly shows its hypocritical policies. It continues to violate that ceasefire. And within the framework of self-defense, Azerbaijani armed forces have to respond to the attacks from the Armenian side.
Let's get a bit more on this. Matthew Bryza is the former U.S. ambassador to Azerbaijan. He joins us live from Istanbul. Thank you so much, Ambassador, for joining us. So we've heard Azerbaijan's point of view on this, but Armenia's defense ministry is blaming Azerbaijan for what they say Azerbaijan broke the ceasefire agreement first. What do you make of what happened on Saturday and what it could mean moving forward?
Well, it's very common in the case of ceasefire agreements that one side or both sides violated in the early minutes and hours and days of it, because each side is trying to take advantage of whatever time is left to gain a marginal advantage. So I don't know who fired first. The Azerbaijani side seems to be really vehement about the fact that the Armenian side violated it first, and then Azerbaijan retaliated. There's been speculation in the analytical circles to which I'm connected that maybe Prime Minister Pashinyan is not fully in control of Armenia's military forces, and maybe those armed forces want to make him, want to embarrass him. I don't know. But what really matters is that this ceasefire agreement was reached, which convinced Azerbaijan to cease its offensive operations, which were making real progress, but also elicited serious compromises from Prime Minister Pashinyan, which I think will be painful for him politically in Armenia.
Ambassador, the peace talks that led to this temporary truce were said to be rather difficult. And now with both sides blaming the other for breaking it, how much hope do you have for a long-term solution to the situation in Nagorno-karabakh?
Interestingly, I was formerly also for 3 years the U.S. mediator of the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict before I was ambassador to Azerbaijan. And I was really in that context disappointed that everything had broken down to the point it had. But now I have some optimism. As an former American official, it's painful for me that Washington is not so involved, but Moscow is. But the reality is there's a diplomatic vacuum. President Putin is filling it, at least on the side of Armenia, and he has convinced, along with President Aliyev, Pashinyan to return to negotiations on the basis that Pashinyan had rejected, but that his predecessors had approved, which is a set of concepts or basic principles that I really believe provide the best hope for a settlement. So Pashinyan had rejected those basic principles over the course of the last year. Now he's repudiated his rejection and agreed to come back to the table. So if the ceasefire holds, given how intensely President Putin seems to want the negotiations to resume, and that President Aliyev has agreed, and now Pashinyan has to return on the terms that were previously agreed, at least I'm not pessimistic. I think there's a chance.
It seems like quite a complicated situation, and lives are being lost over these last days and weeks. We understand that this is an internationally recognized area that belongs to Azerbaijan, I'm sorry. But do you think the Armenian basic argument that most of their citizens live there is a strong argument for them keeping it as theirs?
No, I don't at all. First of all, according to international law, it's not theirs. And not even Armenia recognizes that area as being anything but part of Azerbaijan. So that's number one. Number two, the only reason there aren't ethnic Azerbaijanis living in their homes there anymore is because they were ethnically cleansed back in the early 1990s. So, and number three, I think President Aliyev has made very clear that at the end of the day, what Azerbaijan wants is that the Azerbaijanis return to their former homes in Nagorno-Karabakh and the occupied territories around it, and the Armenians who are currently living in Nagorno-Karabakh can stay in their homes. The catch is that they would then end up being citizens of Azerbaijan. But that's what international law says that they actually should be.
Yeah, Ambassador Bryza, we appreciate your thoughts on this. Thank you so much for that.